America's #1 financial rebound coach. Yeah, I said it, America's #1. I can help you make your money, keep your money, and grow your money if you want to. And that's the most important piece of that. It's if you want to, because oftentimes many of us don't have clearly defined how much money we need to live life on the terms that we want, or we don't have a clear financial plan. We've made poor financial choices. Mostly we're due to emotions, whether it was fear or greed or lack of motivation. There are so many different things that were pulling at us, and or maybe you had just a few problems, and those few problems snowballed. Those poor financial habits that you more than likely developed at an early age continue to just snowball. Well, tonight I wanted to be able to present this opportunity to you so that we can think differently in regards to our current situations. So I love this next slide shared by Bill Gates. He says, if you're born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you die poor, it's your mistake. And that's coming from Bill Gates' net worth of $92.5 billion. Yes, billion with a B. Don't shoot the messenger. Let me be clear. Please do not shoot the messenger when it comes to the message that's being relayed here. I'm merely showing this to get us to think in a different way, not necessarily thinking outside of the box, but I want you to think in terms of there is no box. There are so many different possibilities and opportunities out there that we can potentially seize if and only if, right, we had the next steps, if we had the guidance, if we had the know-how, if you will. So before we get started into the meat and potatoes of this information, I do want to put this disclaimer out there. And if you're looking at the slides here, one of the pictures here says it's gonna get harder before it gets easier, but it will get better. You just got to make it through the hard stuff. And the disclaimers tonight is that I'm providing, Demis Enterprises providing this training and the materials to you. These are for educational purposes only. We're not giving you any legal advice. We're not giving you accounting or financial advisory services. And this is not a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell any business, options, financial instruments, or investments. And there are no implied warranties being made as a result of these services and products. However, with that said, you've heard this term saying before, if it is to be, it is up to me, right? So I want you to grab a hold of that thinking as we move forward. And as we go through the information tonight, I want you to keep an open mind about the new information you're going to learn today. And for some of you, it may not be new information. Maybe it's information you've heard before, simply that you did not act upon it at that time, but keep an open mind. And I also ask that you treat me and others who are participating in this session with respect. Keep an open mind to ideas of others that may be shared as well. And finally, guys, take plenty of notes so you can begin to implement what you learn. Begin to put it into practice immediately. Don't sleep on it. One of the challenges for many people is the fact that you'll participate and you'll get all this great information and you're like, yes, you're motivated. You get everything that you need to get started, but then what happens? You don't start, right? And the challenge, the roadblock continues to be there in front of you. So the guys, or the premise that I want to share with you tonight, this is entitled, Get Off the Bus, right? This is the conversation for educators, but for those of you who want to start a business, but exactly how to do that, you haven't quite figured that out. So we're going to start talking about this through the lens of entrepreneurship tonight, okay? So from the perspective of entrepreneurship, I told you there were 5 things that you must have. The first thing, or number one thing that you must have, is faith. And when I say faith, you must have faith. You must be committed to the point that you can do this. You must understand that this is your God-given destiny. That's how relentless you must be in the conviction that you have in regards to this, making this happen, being successful in this entrepreneurial journey, being successful in starting your own business. Now, when I say that, let me backtrack for a moment. I'm not saying that you start a business to leave your job. If that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But I'm saying that you can do this in addition to your job. Why is that? Because many times on these jobs, on our 9 to 5s, they're more than likely not paying us what we're worth, right? You've gone in, you've asked for the raise, you've begged boss, massa, can I have a raise? Well, maybe not like that. But you've gone in and you've asked for the raise and they haven't given you that raise. They're not paying you essentially what you're worth. And I'm speaking from a place of, I know that, right? I've been in that situation. So I had to figure out what it is that I can now do that's going to allow me, that's going to supplement the income that I currently have. So opening a business has been able to provide me that opportunity, but I could not start without having faith. And the F in faith is you must fix your eyes. Fix your eyes on the prize is ultimately what I'm saying to you, because failure, and you're going to fail. You're going to do some things and things are not going to work out. But what I need you to catch and understand is that failure is temporary. It's a temporary place that you'll be in, and it's only for a moment. So make sure that you fix your eyes, you keep your eyes on the prize. The A in faith is you accept his grace. You have a God-ordained destiny inside of you. And if you go back to the question that I shared with you earlier, the question that we should have been asked as a child, or the question that we should be asking our children now, is not what do you want to be when you grow up, but what has God prepared you to do in this season, right? To fulfill your destiny. So you accept his grace. And then once you're accepting of the grace, you invite his perception of you into your life. Invite his perception of you into your heart, because you were meant to be more, do more, have more because of who he said you are. And then the T in faith is to train, guys. We have to train. You train your lips, right? There's power in your words. And we hear that over and over. There's power. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. So you must train your lips to speak over. We hear it all the time. Speak over yourself. So train your lips to speak what it is that you need. Guys, see, that's why you must have faith. And the H in setting up your business, guys, those 5 must-haves. The H in faith is you have to hide, but you hide in his presence. See, once you're inside of his presence, you're inside of his will. And it doesn't mean everything's going to be easy. It doesn't mean everything's going to be simple, but everything will be taken care of. So first and foremost, guys, the number one thing that you must have in starting this business is you must have faith. You must be committed, and you must be relentless in your steps that you're taking to now achieve that success. So that's the first thing that you must have. So make sure you get that written down in your notes, that you must have faith. And why do we need so much faith, guys? Becoming an entrepreneur, you got to understand and recognize, is this right for you, right? Because the lifestyle of an entrepreneur is, the personal freedoms that are associated, that are connected with being an entrepreneur are unrivaled by many other jobs. There's flexibility in your schedule. You get to decide what you do. You get to choose who you work with. Perhaps that's the greatest part of working for yourself, is you get to choose who you work with. I dare you to go into your job tomorrow and say to your boss that, hey, boss, I don't like her. I don't want to do business with her. He'll say, well, get over it. She's a part of the team and you have to go do that. But once you move into this realm of starting your own business, of becoming an entrepreneur, you can decide who you do business with. And then ultimately, the financial rewards. It goes back to the conversation that we were talking about earlier. You can go to your job today and ask your boss for a raise, but does that mean that you're going to get it? Oftentimes, I mean, it depends, right? It depends on the different performance measures that they have at that job. But when you're the business owner, you have the ability to control how much you earn, right? When you want to make more money, you simply work more efficiently so that you can now make more money. So there are some perks that come along with entrepreneurship. Also, guys, tax benefits. Another thing to consider, there are several tax benefits that business owners enjoy that the traditional employee cannot realize, right? So this helps you to do what? Keep more of your money. That's the tagline. Make your money, keep your money, grow your money. So the tax benefits allow you to keep more of the money that you earn. And guys, the last thing that I want to share here is the growth of your skill set. When you become a business owner, it means you're responsible for everything that happens within your company. It completely shifts your mindset to a different level. So it challenges you. It's not the same mundane thing that you're going to get all the time. But the question I put on the table, is it right for you? Because it's not all a bed of roses. Because sometimes there's financial insecurity in being an entrepreneur, right? Because there are ebbs and flows. You got to take the rough with the smooth. And owning your business is no different. You have to understand that just like there are seasons that we go through, winter, summer, spring, and fall, there are seasons that you go through inside of your business where there will be income coming in and income will not be coming in as much. So you'll have to be able to deal with that type of financial insecurity. And another downside to consider, health insurance, employee health plans, and those other benefits that you get in a regular 9-to-5 job. That's your responsibility now. And it can reduce your bottom line. So these are all different things you got to think about as you're moving through this journey. Now, you can continue to stay in your job and work your business. I'm not saying that you cannot do that. But if you're going to go full blown in becoming an entrepreneur, you need to think about these things on a regular basis. And decisions. You are the sole decision maker. That's a key benefit of entrepreneurship, but it's also a negative. You are the sole decision maker, right? All of the decisions for the business fall to you. So you have to be able to understand, is this truly for me? Is this what I really want to do? And in the case of my business, I'm what's called a social entrepreneur. And a social entrepreneur starts their business. They do well by doing good, right? And the business earns money while also making a difference. I'm helping others to make their money, keep their money, and grow their money, right? As a result of doing good, providing empowerment along the lines of financial literacy. So would you become a social entrepreneur? That's something else to put on the table. So that was number one, guys. You must have faith. The number two item that you must have in a business is knowledge, right? You have to get in the habit of creating. You have to know what the pros and cons are of you starting your business. And you have to read. Why do I say that? Because knowledge is power, guys. And there are oftentimes a lot of things that we were not aware of, that we were not privy to, conversations that you were not in on at your job or corporate America or in retail, wherever it is that you land, right? That you were not privy to a lot of those different conversations. But owning your own business, you must develop an entrepreneurial mindset, right? You have to be someone who's imaginative. You have to be able to see the big picture, study and evaluate trends. And I know a lot of people will say, oh no, I'm not a numbers person. Well, you must become a numbers person if you want to be successful. Creative. You must be risk tolerant. You have to be motivated because you're going to go up and down just like a roller coaster on this journey as you're starting your business. And you have to be able to maintain the course when things are going good, when things are going bad, when things are going sideways, up, down, any type of way that it goes. You have to be the one who understands your strengths and knows where your weaknesses are, and then get some people around you to fill in the gap where those weaknesses lie. See, in that entrepreneurial mindset, you allow yourself now, right, to be goal oriented. You have to be honest. You must be a learner. You must be persuasive. You must be organized. There's so many different pieces to the puzzle that have to come together when you're starting a business. So come into this with the mindset that, hey, there is no box, right? Oftentimes we'll say, oh, we can't even see our way outside of the box. Or we hear people say, think outside of the box. I want you to get rid of all of that, because from now on, there is no box. In this entrepreneurial mindset, on this entrepreneurial journey, you have to now say, there is no box. So what am I now creating? This is the blank space. This is the canvas now that you have access to when you start your own business. So that's number 2, guys. You got to get the knowledge, get the understanding that you need. The number 3 thing, and if there are questions, feel free to post those in the chat if you have them. I'm checking over here. I don't see any questions, but I do want to remind you to go over to the chat, pull down the actual document that I've shared with you. This is the checklist that I promised, the get off the bus, the 5 must-haves to start your business. In that chat, you can go ahead and download that to your laptop, to your smartphones right now, so that you have it. This information that I'm sharing with you is also available in that document. So number 3, the number 3 thing that you see here, guys, is you must have a strategy. And when I say you have to have a strategy, the essence strategy is your status. Where's your status right now? Where are you now in this journey, right? What does it look like for you right now? By identifying your status, by identifying what it looks like for you right now, it puts you in a position where you can say, all right, this is where I am, but this is where I would like to be, okay? And once you have that set up, now you can go to the T in strategy. It is to think. You sit down with a pen and a paper and you think about the situation that you're in as far as your strategy is concerned. If this is where I am and this is where I need to be, think about the things that you need to do and make a list of pros and cons in regards to those items, the things that you need to do, whether it's things you already know, things that you want to know, things that you need to learn. It does not matter. Take the opportunity now so that you can strategize it out. Then the R in your strategy is to relook. Yeah, I know, I kind of made up that word, but relook, relook at the information that you pull down from the pros and cons and pick some quick wins. Why? The low-hanging fruit is what we call it, right? Think about it. You go out to a tree, go out to an apple tree, and you want to get some apples from that tree. What are you going to do? You're going to look for the branch that's closest to you so you can just reach up, pick that apple, and go ahead and eat it. The same thing that I want you to do with your list here, so that you can take action, so that you can act. That is the A in your strategy. So that you can act now. Find the low-hanging fruit in your list of pros and cons so you can get some quick wins on your side. Those quick wins are going to give you the momentum that you need to now keep going. Once you have that in place and you know that you're going to be able to act now, set a target. That's the T in your strategy. You must set a target. I want to be in this place by this date. 3 months down the road, I need to have A, B, and C done. 6 months down the road, I need to have X, Y, and Z completed, right? What are my revenue goals? What are the things I need to be looking at? Once you go through and decide that you set your targets, now you go to the E, you evaluate. So how well have I done? Are these things working out that I've now put into place, right? The G in your strategy is, okay, I've evaluated, it looks like things are going to work out, so let me go implement. Let me go do the work. And finally, the why in your strategy are those things yet to be considered, because there are roadblocks that are going to come. There are things that are going to happen. So what do I need to consider? What happens when, right, this thing pops up, this unknown pops up that I had no inkling that it was there? How am I going to respond to that opportunity? By having a strategy, you now become proactive in this situation as opposed to being reactive to your situation. And by being proactive, it positions you in a different way to continue to win. Guys, these are the 5 must-haves to start a business. And in order to be successful, you follow this path so that you can move to your next. And in starting a business, one of the easiest strategies today, because of smartphones, because of the internet, is to start an internet-based business. On the